Just because Linda Burney has been big on this post-truth, disinformation, misinformation, dangerous. This is a woman who has more than once repeated the deeply damaging flora and fauna lie,
yes,
which is just a myth. Even the ABC did a fact check saying this is a myth. Indigenous Australians were never under a Flora and Fauna Act, whether federal or state government. But it is an untruth that Linda Burney has repeated time and time again, and when she should have known better after several fact checks have come out, including that one from the ABC I mentioned, and yet she has the chutzpah to accuse others of engaging in damaging disinformation. And you know what? She's not alone, because one of our colleagues has also suggested something similar. Have a look.
The idea is a good one. The outcome is a worthwhile one for the country. So we'll see whether the Yes campaign can put a decent campaign together and knock back some of the scare campaign and misinformation that's directed at the Voice. It's at this desk. It's at Sky News where a lot of the scare campaigns are being run. A lot of them are nonsense.
At this desk, a lot of the disinformation campaigns have been
Can we
run.
show the desk?
This
is the desk Mr. Kenny was referring to, presumably. This is the desk. So he's saying misinformation comes from this. Maybe they could give Chris Kenny a job at this new misinformation, disinformation bureau.
He could be the czar.
Exactly. He can look after that. I mean, seriously, what we deal with here in this show is dealing with opinion and based on the facts of the matter, and the reality is, have a listen. After $500 billion or so that we spend on Indigenous affairs, which non-Indigenous Australia pays through taxes, through hard work, through the sweat and toil of every day, going out and doing a job.
Over $30 billion a year.
Over $30 billion a year goes towards which we generously and willingly provide, goes towards improving the lot of Indigenous Australians, and yet this is what Marshall Langton thinks we care about Indigenous Australians. Have a listen.
People looking at these statistics might ask, well, if we keep going like this, every Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander person in the country will be locked up or dead before long.
There's no hyperbole there.
That is a disgrace.
No disinformation there.
No.
But, you know, this is something that we spoke about last week, and that fantastic piece by Jeffrey Blaney about the Uluru Statement from the Heart, which is so often presented as such a wonderful, uniting document when it's actually very much a militant document.
Yes.
It's got all sorts of...
There's nothing touchy-feely about the document.
No,
exactly.
no. And you know what? I would encourage Australians to actually read the whole thing, because you keep having it presented as something that it is not. And also look at what's to come after the Voice, because if the Voice is successful, if the referendum does get up, it's not going to stop there.
Exactly. The next step is treaty and payments where every Australian pays. That's the bottom line, and property is at risk, as we've seen. That is the bottom line.